welcome to the show, and before we get to it, be sure to subscribe to us over on our Patreon, where you can take part in episode polls, see Cinema Snob episodes in advance, like sections of our upcoming supersized episode on 1983 in film. That's all over at patreon.com/thecinemasnob, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification button as well. Looking for some DVDs and some shirts? Well, you could go to a thrift store, or you could visit our archive site, thecinemasnob.com, which has our various original movies and uncut DVD exclusive episodes, plus the link to our t-shirt and mug store on Bonfire, with everything from Lloyd-approved mugs to snob shirts, Saul, and more. Check it out over at thecinemasnob.com.
I'm starting to... I've seen a lot of movies like this recently. There was Mafia Mama. There was 80 for Brady. Last week, there was Love Again, the rom-com with Celine Dion that was out. And I'm starting to notice, like, the same audience at each one. I'm not even talking about like, oh, they're the same age group, blah, blah, blah. No. I mean like literally the same people at all these movies. It's like we do have our own like little club now where it's all of these married couples that are like, you know, in their 50s. And then there's me by myself. My wife didn't want to go with me. She's at home sleeping because she's pregnant. Anyway, I'm here by myself in my pajamas with a large popcorn. Hi, ladies. So, no, we're not only are like the same people at all of them, but they even like know each other too. Not that they came there together or even planned on showing up together. They just know each other, and they all say the same thing whenever they go in, like that same suburban married couple joke where like the husband will notice like, you know, a couple that he recognizes and say things like, "Whoa, they let you out of the house," you know, that kind of thing. Like, "Whoa, it's gonna get rowdy in here." Those kind of lines they say to each other all the time and react like it's the first time they've heard it. So, and not even that, like I said earlier, it's not even that I'm above going to a movie like this. Sarah and I, we would have a blast going to this. We would have some drinks, you know, and go see these movies. Hell, if Sarah and I had drinks and went to go see Mafia Mama or Love Again, we probably would have had a good time watching them. Not that it suddenly would have made those movies good, but we would have been laughing our asses off at it. I will say Book Club 2, far, far, far better than Mafia Mama. They're, you know, the movies are similar in the sense that both of them are about the characters vacationing to Italy and like touring Italy, having gelato and all that, going sightseeing. Difference being this one didn't have a scene in it where a character yanks a rapey hitman's eyes out with a stiletto and then vomit all over another person, like blow someone's head off and cut their tongue out, pull their genitals off and shit like that. That happened in Mafia Mama, by the way. No, Book Club 2 toned down the amount of Lucio Fulci-esque graphic violence in it. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, though? We'll talk about that. At this point between this stuff, you know, like this and 80 for Brady, they could all be in the same universe, or a quick rewrite could make one a sequel to the other. Both movies have fanny pack jokes in them. The jokes that you would think would be in this movie, they're here. There's jokes about not being able to use a webcam during a Zoom call. There's a wedding dress changing montage with a lot of nope, boo, thumbs down. There's a scene where they're thrown in prison. But where it does work is that it stars a collection of total pros, and they're all starring in it, acting opposite each other. It goes without saying they all have great chemistry. And there can be a stupid pun or a lame joke in the script, because there was a lot in the first one too, and there is in this one as well. But with their timing, they can make it work. There are some genuinely sweet moments here, especially between Mary Steenbergen and Craig T. Nelson and Diane Keaton and Andy Garcia. There's this vow sequence with Jane Fonda and Don Johnson, and they're still acting their asses off. I don't know how relatable the movie is necessarily, and I don't even mean that as in, like, because I'm clearly not the demographic for this. Or am I? I'm at, like, all these movies. I don't know how relatable it is in the sense that, okay, like there's a part where all of their luggage gets stolen at the train station when they're in Italy. And one of the things stolen is, I mean, that's horrifying enough as it is, but even one of the things that's stolen is like Diane Keaton's husband's ashes. And what would normally be like a huge dramatic point in like this kind of story, in this they're like, it's just things. It's easily replaceable. It's fine. Let's not let that get in the way of this yummy gelato we gotta eat and this pasta dinner. We got dinner over at the hotel, sightseeing, statues, the Colosseum and all that. Luggage. Whatever. You'll get another husband. You don't need his ashes. It'll work itself out. So, yeah, it's that kind of, and also with these like tourism movies like this, it is very episodic. You know, like we're moving from this plot point to this one, this predicament to this one, and this one. And it, like in a lot of these like characters go to another country type comedies, they'll run into like, it feels like there's only like 5 people in the country because they run into the same people. And whenever something like sort of serious happens, like it kind of works itself out. Like I mentioned them being in prison earlier, but it's okay because the police chief, who I'm sure is the only cop in the entire country, the police chief is like, well, wait a minute, you ladies have a wedding to get to? Well, be on your way, ladies. Don't let me stop you. In fact, get in the police station helicopter. We will fly you to this wedding ourselves. I mean, myself, because I'm the only cop here. It's that kind of movie, man, you know? And while the acting is good, you know, they have good chemistry. Like I said, there are a lot of speeches in this. Like, a lot of speeches. And they're all well acted. You know, but Christ, it does get a little draining with the amount of speeches that are in, like, the last act of this movie, especially the last 20 minutes. The opening of the movie also gives away how it's going to end, too. Not that something like this is, not that you expect a movie like this to be wildly unpredictable. Don't give away any twists. Like Robert Rodriguez said at the beginning of Hypnotic when I went to go see that, don't give away the many twists in Book Club 2 or Hypnotic. But the opening, it really does show, kind of lay out what is going to happen, to the point to where, okay, you don't really need to be fooling me with this turn that you're going to do. I know you're going to do it, and I know this is going to happen. Just, can we just get to it? I got Knights of the Zodiac to go see. So, of course, it isn't. No, it's not. This isn't a great film by any means, but if you're a fan of the first, you'll get what you want going into it. Because if you are going to see this, and not because you're reviewing it, it probably is because you like the first one, and it's Mother's Day weekend, so you know you'll probably like this one just fine too. I'd say it's the kind of movie to wait for on streaming, but if you do have some friends and you get together and have some drinks, it'd be a fine cheap seat screening, you know. Sneak in some cheer wine. Sneak in, or get, I don't know. I'm surprised the movie theater bar didn't have a book club themed box of wine. It's a light C+. It's completely inoffensive. It is what it is, you know. And again, I'm gonna still text Sarah and be like, you took Dave to go see Book Club the next chapter, didn't you? She'll be like, but Dave hasn't seen the first one. It doesn't matter. He doesn't even need to have seen the first one. If he's seen 80 for Brady or Palms or Mafia Mama, he can follow through with this one just fine.